This is Frank Eslam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Andy Powers. And welcome to the show, Andy. Thanks for coming here. Appreciate that very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, tell me a little bit about yourself, what you do, and as I understand, you're entrepreneurs and you funded or both, probably, a company called CommuniClick. Tell me a little bit about the company. And then I want to ask you to tell my audience if they want to become an entrepreneur, what advice do you have for them?
Okay.
So I got to get you several questions here.
Yeah, there's a few there. I'm a local entrepreneur, born in Virginia, and have lived all around the country. And I started a company in college that was acquired.
What did you go to school?
Virginia Commonwealth University.
Sure.
So I started a company in college, spent about a week at university, and teamed up with my roommate in college, and we started building.
Sound like a Michael Dell or Bill Gates.
Or, yeah. It was a very successful business that was ultimately acquired by Citrix. We built a product that became known as Infuse, that Citrix rolled out a few years later. But initially we built clone PCs and clone servers, and this was back in the mid-90s.
Did you graduate from the college?
I did not, no.
So you're Steve Jobs and Bill Gates again, and Michael Dell. But you do not advocate the kids not to go to school, correct?
No, I advocate that people they follow their path. So I follow
wherever it takes them.
Wherever it takes them. So I have 4 children as well, and I don't send
education is very important.
It is very important.
So Bill Gates will always tell you, go to school, get a good education.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell you to follow your path. So if that takes you to school, then you should go to school.
And then start a business.
And then start a business, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So from there, I've done a few other companies, not dissimilar from the one that I started in college, that were ultimately exited. I've had, in total, about $50 million worth of exits. Teamed up with some folks in 2006 and started CommuniClick. And originally we set out to build a collaboration engine that was a product, and we had teams of people all over the country that were helping us develop this experiment that we were trying to launch, and we failed miserably. One of the issues that we had was that we had pockets of people distributed all throughout the world that were using different platforms to communicate. So some of them would use Skype, and some of them would use Google Plus. And
right.
Yeah, so we couldn't get them all on the same page and couldn't get them all together to talk. So what we did was we hacked together a piece of software that connected all those different platforms. And
hence the birth of the CommuniClick.
Our business was born, yep.
Okay, so my question was to you as we sat here, what advice do you have as somebody who wants to do the same thing you did? Start a business, be an entrepreneur, a budding entrepreneur.
Yeah, follow your path and
follow your path.
Listen to signs. I think failing quickly has become a popular idea and concept, but I don't think people are as true to it as they should be.
So what you're really saying, if you fail, you get up and move on again.
Absolutely.
So success will tell you how to move forward, but the failure will tell you how never to go backward.
That's a great way to put it. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yeah, that's good.
That's correct,
yeah,
right?
That is correct.
So what's the secret of a good business is, it's just not you, it's the team that makes it happen.
Absolutely, and I think it's...
Shed some light on it.
As an entrepreneur and as the founder of the business and as the CEO of the company, I've got to have my hand on the pulse of what makes our product sell, and then also the people that build it on a daily basis. So having my finger on the pulse of the business on a daily basis includes both of those things, and then it also includes surrounding myself with great investors. You met Dr. Reddy earlier.
Yes, I did.
He's our chairman, and he manages our team of investors, and not only that team of people, but also our outbound effort to go, continue to engage with partners that can be strategic for us financially as well. So yeah, that's I think surrounding yourself with good people.
Surround yourself with the talented people. If you're talented and smart, you surround yourself with the good and talented people.
Absolutely.
Okay. So my next question to you is, how big is this company? Where is it going? And are you exposed to the non-U.S. market also?
So the company, in terms of revenue, is right around $50 million a year.
Which is a pretty good.
We're happy with that. Yeah, we've like I said, we started in 2006.
So
we stumbled along the way, and
for 50, and it's pretty profitable.
It is right at break even. So yeah,
Okay.
we've raised about $6 million, and as of last year, we can consider ourselves a break even business. So,
Okay,
yeah.
which isn't bad.
It's very good. We're happy with it. Yeah, our investors are happy with it. We've got competitors that are doing similar amounts of revenue, but that have raised 20 times as much money as we have. So yeah, we're happy with it.
So, and how many employees you have?
50.
50, and all they do, the computer people, the IT guys, and this is all they do is a kind of communicate and click.
Yeah, so
right?
that was good.
In addition to the integration of all these things, right?
Yeah, so we're the CommuniClick is a cloud-based service that enables voice in the cloud.
Okay.
So if you think about the amount of education that it takes to become a computer programmer, which is a lot, it takes just as much education and just as much experience to become a telecommunications engineer. So we're looking for both those skill sets in one. So we're looking for people who understand how calls are originated and terminated on a traditional telecommunications
So where do you
network.
get the people to work?
Every-
All over the country?
all over the country, all over the world. Yeah, we have an office in Dhaka, Bangladesh. We have a team of people in Mumbai, India.
So these people live there?
They do live there. Yeah.
So this 50 employees that you had, that includes those people, or this is just a U.S.-based 50 employees?
It does include those people. Yeah, so
It does include that.
the folks outside the
So
U.S.
why do you go to India and Bangladesh?
Well, so the skill set takes us anywhere we go to find
whatever it
new
takes.
employee, whatever it takes. Yeah. So I mean, the skill set, and then a lot of times when you take those two skill sets together in higher end markets or in bigger cities in the United States, those employees are more expensive. And so initially, we went to Bangladesh and we went to India because we were trying to be as lean as we could and start off. And get to profitability or get to break even as quickly as we could. So yeah, that's what kind of led us down that path was, just doing whatever we needed to do, going wherever we needed to go to find the skill set that we could ultimately afford to serve some of the projects that we had.
I just came back from India, but I went with President Obama as a part of the India-US CEO Summit Conference. I was part of the team, and I went with the president. One of the things that we heard about people who wants to invest in India, obviously trying to make it easier to do business, and there's a lot of rules and regulations, and also there's not economic reforms, and there's a lot of paperwork. But the workforce is not well trained. Do you find in your case the people that you have hired, they are the 21st century workforce that you can work with? Or you got to train them?
We find that what Obama referenced to you is somewhat true.
They need to invest in the human capital.
That's accurate. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that's got some merit for sure.
But they have good work ethics.
Good work ethics.
So
yeah.
you need to exploit their potential if they can become a part of the workforce that kind of matches what you're doing. So did you ask them to come over here and learn the technique and then go back?
No.
You trained them over there back in India.
We trained them over there.
Okay.
So yeah, we've had an office there from day one, and in Bangladesh and in India, and we trained them there. We have community managers that exist there that are part of that employee base that we discussed earlier.
What part of India your office is located?
Mumbai.
Mumbai. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the financial capital? Okay. My other question to you is, what differentiates you with your competitors? What you have that they don't have it?
So in terms of the tech that we've developed that differentiates us,
The technology.
Yeah, so we do a couple things that are really unique in our space. We anonymize calls in our space. So for example, in an environment like an Uber, who's a customer of ours that we serve.
There's a lot of controversy about them in India.
There's a lot of controversy about Uber everywhere. So that we anonymize the call from both, from the driver to the consumer, so neither party has the other one's phone number.
Okay.
So when the engagement is over, the calls are jumbled, or the numbers are jumbled, and ultimately neither party has the other one's 10-digit phone number. So that's something we do that's pretty unique. And then the premise upon which we started the company, I described to you earlier, is connecting calls across multiple handles. So something that we do that's unique in our space today is we connect Skype calls to Google Plus calls to any other web
sort
handle.
of integrate all of them.
We do, yeah. Yeah, I mean, voice is a complicated thing. So it's the reason that our company is necessary is because if you're building a business, if you're building a software company, if you're building a mobile product, you don't want to think about voice until you have to think about it, and then you just want it to be done correctly every single time. So yeah.
That's what you provide. What about the customer service? I mean, that's a very important ingredient
It absolutely is.
for success of a company.
It absolutely is, and it's something that we take pride in. One of the things I love the most about the services that we provide for our customers is our ability to save a consumer relationship between our customer and their consumer. We get, in customer service portals, we get the right customers to the right agents faster, better, cheaper than anybody in our industry, and a lot of times that saves customer relationships. Nobody likes waiting on hold, and you definitely don't like being routed to the wrong person when you're in a customer service.
I'll wait forever to get a response from them, like Facebook.
Right. Yeah,
Facebook is a good example.
Okay.
They don't respond. They don't have a help desk. There's nothing. There's no such thing you can get to them.
Okay. I'm not sure that I'm going to get very far in the technology world trashing Facebook on
No,
camera.
I don't intend to do so, but that is just a statement, not rather than trashing them.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, they're not a customer of ours, but yeah.
Well, they made it.
They did make
They
it.
don't need it. They don't need you and I. So what is your strategy in terms of 4 years, 5 years from now? And then how do you go about exiting it? Do you want to go exit?
So we're looking at a number of acquisitions
yeah, sure.
currently. We've looked
And how are you going to
at,
fund this acquisition?
So we'll either we'll get out and we'll finance them through
Raise some money.
equity or debt. Yeah, one or the other. We're getting to a point in our company's life cycle where debt is an interesting opportunity. There's lots of ways. The money's
The problem with the equity is
relatively cheap.
how do you value it? How do you value the company? I mean, that's a difficult thing to do.
Well, so based on revenue, we've been given really favorable valuations from lots of potential suitors for equity investments. So yeah, we've actually had a really good success with that up to and through this point. And
So
that's
you get
Dr.
it-
Reddy. He does all that. So
I know. So you but you got to get engaged too. So is it individual investor or institution investor?
well,
Both.
so up to and through this point, it's been individuals.
Individual investor.
Individuals, yeah.
So how would you convince me to invest in your enterprise?
I would.
And why should I invest?
Yeah, I would convince
So
you.
take the role of Dr. Reddy to yourself.
Okay, so I don't know that I can do it as well as he does, but I think ultimately, if you look at the opportunity that we've engaged upon up to and through this point, we've been really successful at taking out a lot of failures out of this experiment. So we've kind of figured out what works, and we're still, at this point, operating with a lot of green grass ahead of us. So there's a ton of opportunity that's sitting out there. If you look at our business today, we're in mobile, we're in enterprise collaboration, we're in gaming, we're in customer support, we're in a lot of places, but we're just getting into them. So with every single one of those opportunities, I think that there's plenty of room for growth. At $50 million in revenue, I could see this being, well over $1 billion company into the future. And we've got.
So if I got $1 million to invest, how much am I going to get returned back in 5 years from now? I can send a check tomorrow if you want me.
10x.
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 That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Obviously, obviously you can't guarantee it.
I can't guarantee that, but yeah, I mean, we're,
Because most of the venture that I've invested, it didn't pan out.
I heard you saying that off camera. That is
Yeah,
unfortunate.
many ventures. So
It's hard, as an angel investor myself, it's a hard, it's hard to pick winners for sure.
and you probably don't even know it's going to be a winner.
Yeah, you don't know.
You're venturing into the horizon. You have no you don't have any. In some cases, you don't have any voice even how the company is being run.
I pick winners based on people and less on plans, especially early on. I like people that are grinders. I like people that have gone out and figured it out. And that's what I think I am. And I look for employees that have those characteristic, those character traits, and I also look for early stage ventures to get involved in, and entrepreneurs that have those character traits as well.
And how do you give them a voice on the table? Because the fact that if you're a minority investor, you don't really have any say.
I think you just be as helpful as you possibly can, and always understand where
how
the
do you
business is
engage
going.
them continuously to make sure they understand what's going on? What do you do with them?
Well,
you forget about them after they send the check?
Absolutely not. So I think there's a lot of angel investors and a lot of personality types that like to get involved in this game. As I said, I'm one as well. So if I may, I'll answer your question by giving you an example of how I'm really helpful to ventures where I have no voice. I'm a minority investor in over 50 companies. And what I try to do is when I see opportunities that could potentially be helpful, I just want to be as aggressive as I can and get those entrepreneurs in front of those opportunities, right? And so as an entrepreneur who's got other investors to serve, I appreciate when they do the same. Now with that said, when they do send the check, they're not obligated to do anything else further. And I do send, we send regular financial updates, quarterly updates with, how well the business is doing, new customers, and kind of, feature sets and where we're going in the market and what we see happening. I mean, I think that, we owe that to them. I serve two different groups of people within CommuniClick. I serve Dr. Reddy and the investors, and I also serve our customers.
Okay, so you do
And
both.
So we do both.
So we are two hats. So how do you ensure that your capital is protected? Your principal is kept in this case.
So if
You don't have collaterals. You don't really say that, hey, the company. You basically is angel investors, and you're hoping that the people who work there, people who are doing a good job, they will grow you, and you'll be able to get it 10 times. That's what you said.
Yeah.
In about 5 years, which is a pretty good deal.
Yeah. Yeah, in a lot of scenarios, it's hard. It's easier with CommuniClick, and I'll tell you why. We all have common stock, so there's no preference in our deal.
Okay.
Everybody who invests right alongside me, and we have 100% common, and intend to keep that as long as we possibly can. Up to and through. The idea of getting to break even and keeping our cap table exclusively common stock was a goal that we set out.
Okay.
Was a goal that we set out initially, so that once we got to break even, we would all be equal partners, at least relative to the preference within our stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they get the investor basically get the stock.
That's correct.
Do they get a physical stock or is it a virtual stock?
You have physical stock certificate, and
Well, but it's not a
ownership in
public
the
company.
business, but it's not a public company, so there's no platform to get out and trade
You
it.
cannot cash in. You cannot go to New York Stock Exchange and cash it.
You can't cash in. That's correct. Yeah, it's frozen.
When you get up early in the morning, what gives you the energy, enthusiasm to be the best you can be for that day?
Well, the thing that reminds me, I guess when I get up early, I have two young children, so when I get up early
You said
in the
you have
morning,
4.
I have 4 total, 2 young children, so
Okay.
they get up.
They're pretty young?
Very young, yeah. So 2 years old and 3
Okay,
years
they're
old.
young.
So yeah, when I get up in the morning, they're usually the first faces that I see.
What does it remind you?
It reminds me of all the responsibilities that I have
On your shoulder.
Oh yeah,
You need to
absolutely.
render the responsibility.
That's correct.
You have enormous responsibility for their future. But you also have enormous responsibility on your shoulder to make sure the investors, they're investing in your company, they get a good returns on the investment.
I do. And so I would say instead of, that keeps me up at night more than it gets me up in the morning. That keeps me up making sure that we're, being fiduciarily responsible to all of our investors equally across the board, the largest and the smallest.
So you take your fiduciary responsibility very
seriously.
Eh?
Very seriously.
Very seriously.
Yeah.
Now the question is, when you have been given letters of opportunity to succeed by someone else, by others, what would you do to someone else who's looking for that kind of opportunity to give them the opportunity to succeed?
So, the opportunity that I've been given is enormous, and
It is.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and our investors have created quite a significant amount of value in this business, and I recognize that. But there's also the role that an advisor plays in the business. Which is another significant opportunity for most of our investors to come in and shepherd our executive team, including me.
Sure.
So the financial piece is one piece of it, and I certainly want to participate in that.
Sure,
As I
sure.
have. I said I've invested in a number of different companies, but I also want to be a good advisor, and I've been taught that by our existing advisors.
Do you also give back to the community?
We do. So we
Individually as well as the corporate-wise?
So from a corporate perspective, I'm not sure how responsible it would be for us to go give it away to charity before we're, actually a profitable entity.
Sure, I got you.
Upon, achieving that,
But
we absolutely
you do take the responsibility and subscribe to the notion that to whom much is given, much is expected.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Andy, for sharing your thoughts.
Yes, sir.
It has been constructive. narrative, and thoughtful. And this is our show. This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week. And thank you for watching.